Hello, welcome to European Open Briefing for Friday, January the 18th. I'm Rafi Barajan, currency analyst at xm.com, and we're going to be having a look at what's happening in the currency markets today. There's quite a bit of risk-on sentiment this morning. There were reports in the Wall Street Journal that the US could soon be lifting some of the tariffs on Chinese imports, though this has since been denied, but nevertheless, market sentiment has been lifted on hopes that progress is being made in those trade negotiations between the US and China. So we had a strong positive close in Asia. Europe hasn't opened just yet, but both European and US futures are pointing to a positive start later today. Having a look at the dollar, it is marginally higher, both the dollar index and the dollar yen. We are also seeing a bit of a rebound in US Treasury yields. And yesterday we had strong data. We had strong weekly jobless claims as well as a beat in the Philadelphia manufacturing index. Sterling yesterday touched a 2-month high as fears recede of a no-deal Brexit. This morning is pairing some of those gains. Euro, though, still struggling below the $1.14 level. The loonie is struggling for direction. We've got Canadian inflation numbers coming up at 13.30 GMT. But doesn't seem to have received too much of a boost from higher oil prices. This morning, WTI is up by almost 1% on reports that OPEC slashed output in December. So let's now turn to, in more detail, the dollar-yen pair. We can see it's actually been recovering steadily since early January. It's now reached a 2-week high of 109.46. As the fears of a recession, US recession recede, we're seeing the dollar recover a little bit, as well as the yen pulling back on the improving risk appetite. So those reports that the US Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin is considering rolling back some of the tariffs on China's imports has been denied, and this could possibly be also opposed by the hawks in Trump's administration, such as Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer. Nevertheless, markets have used this as an excuse to be optimistic about an eventual deal. Later today, the focus will be on US data with industrial output numbers coming up at 14:15 GMT. And a quick look at sterling, we can see it briefly touched 1.30 yesterday against the US dollar. So investors are increasingly betting that either we're going to get a soft Brexit or there's going to be a second referendum on the UK's decision whether or not to stay or leave the European Union, and they see declining chances of a no-deal Brexit scenario. Nevertheless, Theresa May is sticking to having that option. She's keeping that as a threat, but Labour is saying that unless she drops that threat, they won't join cross-party talks to reach a consensus on a way forward. So this has cast doubt about whether or not what kind of a plan B Theresa May will be able to come up with on Monday when she has to present Parliament with an alternative. The immediate focus, though, later today will be UK retail sales numbers due at 9:30 GMT. That's it from me. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.